security forces who took part in this operation.
Police are not taking anything to chance.
Moves you to the heart of the story to witness and record history.
Rendering the declared results null and void.
Telling the story of Kenya.
The growing importance of border in Mandera.
Matatus will be on strike.
And beyond.
The politics in the United States capital.
It is the 7th edition of the Global Education taking place in Dubai.
When it comes to business, we crunch the numbers and unpack the detail with the latest information for your investment decision.
It's time to say goodbye to this note and karibu to this note.
In order for the manufacturing sector to be elevated from the ground.
Despite the government's promise to create at least 1.3 million jobs.
Moves you fast past the planes and trucks to bring you the triumphs and joys of our great men and women.
Moving stories that touch our hearts.
I didn't know that I could go back to school.
The Back to School program has brought hope to these young mothers.
NTV News. News that moves you.
Just move to the next level with My Network. We invite you for a career fair to be held on 17th and 18th January 2020 at KICC from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The theme is Careers for the Future. Please join us and interact with career guides, industry experts, universities, and tertiary institutions. There will be lots of fun, games, entertainment, and cool prizes to be won. Entry is absolutely free. For more information, call 0707-871-918 or email projects@ke.nationmedia.com. See you there. Eldoret Technical Training Institute (ETTI) is a student-centered institution offering competency-based training and market-driven courses at higher diploma, and certificate level. Registration for January, May, and September 2020 intakes is ongoing in the following programs: Building and Civil Engineering, Business Administration and Commerce, Agriculture and Animal Health, Travel, Tourism and Hospitality Management, Education, Social Studies, Information Communication Technology, Accounting, Banking and Finance, Medical and Health Sciences, Journalism and Mass Communication. Apply now. SMS your details to the numbers on your screen. Eldoret Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Are you tired of things running out? Are you tired of things finishing too soon? Now there's a new dawn. We are giving you extra. Get 50% extra airtime with every top-up. That's right, 50% extra airtime for calls and SMS across all networks. Simply dial *544*2* amount hash and buy any amount of airtime and talk for longer. What are you waiting for? It's better to talk. Simple, transparent, honest. Safaricom is for you.
Prepare yourself for a new live bet experience. Top minute, boosted live bet odds. Mozart, make a decision.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Welcome to IHTI. Train with the industry's leading institution. To lead the pack demands you to do it different. Yes, we are made of a different recipe.
If your dream is to become a hotel manager like me, IHTI is the place to be.
My name is Finella Sekon, formerly from Pioneer High School. I am currently in IHTI studying International Hotel Management and Culinary Arts.
My name is Jabir Hassan. I'm from Tanzania. I'm a second-year student doing hospitality management.
Tunawasubiri kwa hamu na ghamu isiyo na kifani. Wamvita, Wajomvu, karibuni IHTI.
Welcome on board. For more information, please log on to www.ihti.net or call us on 0728-787088 or simply write to us via info@ihti.net. Welcome to the Professionals Club.
Hello Nancy, mambo.
Brayo, wapi pesa yangu?
Nipe tu 10 minutes na kutumia.
Uko sure?
Nancy, mimi siwezi kudanganya.
The only thing you can be sure of is your rate on Airtel. With 1 bob, una get 5 MBs and 2 bob per minute to all networks. No expiry, no conditions. Dial *544*2#.
Sana kutumia.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Look at this. And this. So this? Why is this so? The culture of good driving and road safety starts with attending the right driving school and receiving the right driving instructions. Now you know. AA Kenya.
Register today for your driving classes. Dial *650#.
For 100 years now, AA has walked with you throughout the journey. Automobile Association of Kenya. You never drive alone.
Do you have what it takes to become the next generation of great innovators, business magnates, corporate icons, engineers, and renowned researchers? Be part of over 40,000 students pursuing and nurturing their career at Moi University. Enroll now for January, May, and September 2020 intakes for postgraduate, degree, and diploma programs in the following schools: School of Business and Economics, School of Arts and Social Sciences, School of Information Sciences, School of Education, School of Agriculture and Natural Resources, School of Biological and Physical Sciences, School of Tourism, Hospitality and Events Management, School of Aerospace Science, School of Public Health, School of Medicine, School of Engineering, School of Law, School of Nursing, School of Dentistry. Enroll now. Moi University, the foundation of knowledge.
If you don't stop, I will record this, and then I'll show your son that embarrassing thing you're doing. I'm sure he won't ever go back to work again. Miss Hillary, I want to join the search for Salvador.
Wait, I'm coming too.
But why?
Carrie, if I were you, I wouldn't make friends with that guy, because they're a family of criminals.
Well, that serves you right. Don't you ever call me again.
I offered to pay your debt. That is if you will help me.
This is NTV.
Good evening. It's a couple of minutes to the top of the hour, but you're just in time for NTV Tonight. Here are top stories.
Tonight, another set of shots fired at the judiciary. EACC says courts are the weak link in the corruption fight.
We are not just beating about the bush, trying to blow our trumpet. We have facts, the figures are there. EACC has convictions.
The battling institutions in the anti-graft war. Also tonight, beware of the saviors turned tormentors.
As you settle in,
Simon Chelugui takes over Labor and Social Protection Ministry, warned of tormentors in high offices.
to make sure that the resources that we trust to these various units are used for the intended purpose. Make sure that you know what belongs to the children are given to the children.
Plus, teachers are worried about their security, but the solutions are not aligned. Time is ticking.
Nowhere in the world are teachers armed.
And I'm saying that we shall not be cowards. Every Kenyan must be ready to serve in any part of the country.
Later on, transformers brought down in fight against illegal electricity connections leaves Mukuru Kwajenga slum in darkness. Innocent residents suffer brunt of corrupt operations.
Mimi sasa napika chips. Niliwekewa stima. Sasa sijui stima imetoka wapi.
NTV Tonight with Mark Masai.
Good evening once again. We're glad you've chosen NTV Tonight for your news update. Flora Tieno is our sign language interpreter. To a top story, the judiciary has once again been hauled over the coals for the length of time it takes to hear and determine corruption cases. The European Union, jointly with the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, put their weight behind President Uhuru Kenyatta, who on Tuesday took the judiciary to task. While standing by the gains it has made on the war on graft, the EACC blames its failed convictions not on investigative failures, but the drawn-out court processes. NTV's Olive Burrows with more.
I'm from the military. I talk about facts, not perception.
A fiery Ethics and Anti-Corruption CEO, Twalib Mbarak, on Thursday defended the agency's conviction rate, taking exception to the suggestion that the agency is ineffective.
We have the facts on the ground. We are not just beating about the bush, trying to blow our trumpet. We have facts, the figures are there. EACC has convictions.
51 convictions to be exact in the 2018-19 financial year, 4.5 billion in recovered assets and an estimated 14.5 billion whose loss it says it has averted by stopping dubious payments. In that period, there were 23 acquittals and 4 withdrawals. Partly to blame, the agency says, on the slow-moving wheels of the judiciary.
His Excellency the President talked about the case of the Akasha. It has taken less than 1 year in USA to be concluded. It's your guesswork for how long it would have taken in Kenya.
I think it is a shame on our country that we prosecuted a case against drug traffickers in our country and we couldn't get a prosecution. And within a year of them being arraigned in the United States, they have been jailed for no less than 25 years. That is something that our judiciary should come to terms with.
The executive arm of government and the investigative agencies aren't the only ones taking the judiciary to task. The European Union has invested at least 3 billion shillings in bolstering the country's justice system and is demanding results.
2020 needs to be the year in which we see increase in the tempo of convictions and asset seizures, and people who have engaged in corrupt practices no longer being able to hold public office, no longer being able to travel freely, and an end to this practice here in Kenya.
The parties accusing the judiciary of cheating the Kenyan people of the justice due to them when they're robbed blind by failing to hear and decide the cases in a timely fashion. The longer the cases drag on, the EACC lamented, the more unlikely it is that the looted assets will be recovered.
I mean, I could only imagine that if a case runs for many, many years, the availability of witnesses to engage, supply evidence becomes more difficult.
Hypocrites has been the judiciary's response to the executive, the arm accusing it of pointing a finger, while 4 others are pointed back at it.
The kind of talk I've seen that the judiciary is the weak link. Please, and some of it is coming from very, very important personalities in this country, as if they don't know how the courts operate.
The players treating Kenyans to the same dog and pony show as they trade blame through the media, and the hemorrhaging continues unabated. Olive Burrows, NTV.
Still on matters continuing unabated, Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani has urged the incoming Labour and Social Protection CS Simon Chelugui to be firm in handling the management crisis and child rights abuses at the Child Welfare Society of Kenya. Yatani notes that the agency has become a sore in the ministry's operation since an NTV expose, Sins of Saviors, revealed the extent of the rot within the organization. Zainab Ismail has more.
And as you settle in, please make sure that you do not give opportunity to any wayward, managers or otherwise, whether they are inserted by court or what, to continue plundering resources that belong to them.
This is Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani's word of advice to the new Labour and Social Protection Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui. At the heart of this new task is wiping away the tears of minors under the Child Welfare Society of Kenya who have endured a series of child rights abuses perpetuated by the management.
There are one or two institutions that are not fully aligned to the ministry. But that's a matter that I think we are going to discuss in details to make sure that the resources that we trust to these various units are used for the intended purpose. And if the officers are not aligned and they want to hide themselves under the law by rushing to institutions that's going to give them some temporary reprieve, we will not allow that. And I think that is we expect you to do the same to make sure that what belongs to the children are given to the children without any corners, without any challenges.
Chelugui has promised to pick up from where his predecessor has left in fixing the rot at the CWSK as directed by the cabinet last September. But he will have to start from within the ministry.
To me, this is a very powerful policy government came with, and I will be championing, I'll be a leader in all this to ensure that our society, our part of society are also protected.
Among the pressing concerns for Chelugui is restoring operations at the state corporation. Staff members at the head office were in December sent on compulsory leave, meaning child welfare and protection programs have ground to a halt. NTV has learnt that the 1,500 orphans and vulnerable children in the 11 temporary places of safety across the country have yet to resume school since the turn of the year as Irene Mureithi tightens her grip on power. The organization has become her playhouse and the vulnerable children her toys. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
All the best to see as Chelugui in his new assignment, and yes, we will hold him to account on that particular promise. Tonight, Mukuru kwa Jenga slum is in total darkness. Kenya Power officers and police officers have brought down transformers in the area in an effort to weed out illegal connections and curb theft of electricity. Mel Miendo reports that residents in most slums say they have been paying for electricity to proxies who identify themselves as Kenya Power officials.
From one electric post to another, and with the empty meter boxes, there was no doubt these residents of Mukuru kwa Jenga had been enjoying power supply, but the revenues were not reflecting in Kenya Power's accounts.
Sasa napika chips, niliwekewa stima. Sasa sijui stima imetoka wapi, sisi tunaona stima iko, lazima ulipe ile unaambiwa. Inalipuka inarudishwa.
Here, the authorities find a hidden transformer, power tapped without being metered to Kenya Power. Residents and businesses paid their rent, inclusive of the power bill to the landlord, who Kenya Power says never remitted the money. He's said to be on the run. The residents suspect foul play.
Kenya Power yenyewe ndio anasema hii transformer ikiharibika ndio anakam kuripea. And yetu wanasema ni stima ni ya wizi. Then how comes wanakam kuripea kama ni stima wizi?
The residents accuse the very Kenya Power staff for aiding the illegal connections for individual benefit. They have denied this.
The intention is to connect you correctly. You're using supply that is wrongly connected. It is not safe for you. We are here to guide you on how to get the legal connection. We will show you how to go about it. As soon as you meet the connection conditions, we will connect you to supply.
transformers at the Mukuru slums have been brought down. But residents in this place say that this will be perhaps the worst case scenario because of their security, their businesses, their children and their families. This is what they have to say.
Sisi wote tunategemea stima. Wote hakuna mtu ategemea stima hapa saizi. Wakati venye stima imepotea hivi saizi, biashara zote zimesimama. Ngeta iko juu.
Sasa hapa sisi tumehofia maisha yetu, huwezi toka saa moja nje. Sasa polisi hata hawawezi piga nini, hawawezi piga patroli hapa nje. Sasa hii ni giza.
Kenya Power says the crackdown will be done countrywide. Mel Miendo, NTV.
To an ongoing case, the 357 million shilling corruption case against Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko will still be heard after the High Court declined to issue any orders to stop the proceedings. Justice Mombe Ngoge said she was not satisfied with the reasons tabled by Sonko's legal team. Instead, the judge directed Sonko to serve the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, the Director of Public Prosecutions and other parties with his amended petition on the integrity of the Director of Investigations at EACC, Abdi Mahmood. But in some reprieve for the embattled governor, the courts have declined to extend orders freezing Sonko's bank accounts. Meanwhile, the exodus of teachers from northern Kenya over insecurity continues, with the leadership of two teachers' unions, NUT and KUPPET, sharply divided over the possible solutions. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha is, in the meantime, asking teachers to defend themselves. NTV's education reporter Sharon Baranga reports.
Teachers fleeing from the northern part of Kenya have been camping at the Teacher Service Commission headquarters, and they all spoke in unison. They want to be transferred and not a compassionate leave which they were offered by their employer. They are scared of going back to their workstations because of insecurity. And now, the Education Cabinet Secretary wants them to defend themselves when attacked.
If there's a war, go out and fight. Don't sleep under the bed. They will come and kill you under the bed.
And that's not the only solution being suggested. Teachers' unions are also weighing in.
Walimu ambao walioko hizi sehemu waweze kupewa bunduki, hao wenyewe wawe kama police reservists. Yes.
Nowhere in the world are teachers armed. Never. The moment an individual walks to the classroom with a gun or with a firearm, that is an affront to teaching. The only weapon for a teacher is a piece of chalk, a pen, and a paper.
And the solution is?
These are Somali boys and girls who have graduated in Form 4 and have got the minimum basics and capacities to teach. What we are staring at here is disaster of iniquity of those children in northern Kenya going without teachers.
Shule zote ziweze kuwa na ulinzi wa polisi vile tunakuwa na ulinzi wa polisi katika benki zetu 24 hours.
Oil and water does not mix. My very firm commitment is that the local people in these areas should come clean.
The exodus of non-local teachers from the northern part of the country continues. On Monday, 3 teachers were killed and another one injured after they were attacked by Al-Shabaab. Sharon Baranga, NTV.
This should come as good news. Residents of Mwiki area in Nairobi County can now rest easy somewhat after the government moved in to reconstruct the deplorable roads in the area, ending days of demonstrations that led to the death of one person on Wednesday. The problem of deplorable roads is not unique to the capital, as Silas Apollo tells us.
After 4 days of protest, chaos and running battles with the police, the tears and sweat of residents of Mwiki in Kasarani have borne fruit. The Kenya Urban Roads Authority has announced plan to rebuild poor roads in the area, following a lengthy meeting with residents and the county government.
We have agreed with the Urban Roads Authority and with the engineers, the contractor and the grader be on site to actually commence works. There's a lot of drainage that needs to be done, the draining. But the wananchi there must first see the grader on site, with the contractor on site, and work happening. All the public service vehicles to go back to the road this afternoon.
We have 300 million allocated for that road. And what we want to do is not to do the kind of a small maintenance work we do. We do full construction of the road to ensure that it is sustainable even for the next over 10 years.
But this road was constructed only 4 years ago at a cost of over 500 million shillings when Evans Kidero was the governor of Nairobi. Barely 5 years later, and this is what it looks like. A clear manifestation of just how contractors gobble up billions of shillings while delivering substandard work, and the authorities don't seem to learn.
To all our contractors, if you do short work, you do work not as per our specifications, we will just terminate the contract. We have done it before, so we don't entertain contractors who will not perform.
The Mwiki protests depict a picture of a citizenry seemingly frustrated by poor service delivery and misplaced priorities on the part of government.
Ukiona kama sasa hiyo watu wa NTV tukivuka kama tunaelekea Mwiki tunalipishwa, na pia kama watu wenye ambao wanaenda na miguu wanalipishwa.
BBI saa hii ndio inapigwa kelele. Hiyo pesa inatumiwa kwa BBI, si tuletea tutengenezwe barabara hapa.
Silas Apollo, NTV.
At least 8 people, including 3 pupils and 3 family members, perished in different tragic incidents in various parts of the country. A number of those injured are receiving treatment in various hospitals as authorities urge residents to evacuate from mudslide-prone areas.
In Mwasere village in Mwatate, Taita Taveta County, a family of 3 died Thursday morning after their house was buried by falling rocks following heavy rains. According to eyewitnesses, the house collapsed after heavy rocks from nearby hill fell on it while the family was asleep. The area assistant chief, Kefa Mwasamba, said they had experienced heavy rains for 24 hours. The bodies of the victims were taken to the Moi County Referral Hospital mortuary in Voi. In Kuresoi North Sub-County, Nakuru County, 3 pupils died while at least 53 were hospitalized after lightning struck classrooms at Mkulima Primary School Thursday evening. The grade 4 and 5 learners were in their classes when the incident took place at around 3 p.m. The school's head teacher, Thomas Sisa, said they had just rushed back into the classrooms to seek shelter from the heavy rains during games time. Nakuru County government has dispatched 3 ambulances to transfer 4 critically injured pupils to Nakuru Level 5 Hospital. In Chaka, Nyeri County, 2 people were buried alive at Gikundu Quarry, while 2 others were injured after a section of the quarry they were working in collapsed on them. According to Steve Washira, who narrowly escaped the grim accident, the boulders above collapsed while they were going about their work. Seth Olale, NTV.
To another tragedy associated to nature the country will have to do with the Locust menace. A bit longer, as a food and agriculture organization warns that the locust invasion will head to Samburu and Laikipia counties before crossing over to South Sudan and Uganda. The warning is in line with a similar one the organization issued in November last year, but one that was soundly ignored by the authorities, leading to what has been a haphazard response to the invasion. NTV's Brenda Wanga reports.
It was only a matter of time before the desert locusts made their way into Kenya. And when they did, they caught the government authorities pretty much flat-footed. The government's initial reaction was to beef up the residents' rudimentary methods by deploying police officers to scare away the locusts by shooting in the air. But it soon became obvious that neither the noise from the humans nor the machines will do the trick, as the swarms, growing in number by the day, spread further inland. The government's response
will be, and there's, like I'm going to explain when, aerial spraying team that will be spraying areas that have been affected by the Locust.
The Ministry of Agriculture says the primary role of controlling the desert locusts fall on the Desert Locust Control Organization of East Africa, which is based in Ethiopia. But it was how the ministry wanted Kenyans involved in the fight against the insects that raised eyebrows.
Tunawaomba mutupashe habari na mkiona mdudu wote ambaye mnafikiria ni locusts, tafadhali mpige picha, weka kwa social media na itatufikia.
While the public obliged and posted pictures of the locusts, the real insects were continuing with their journey across the country. The government's hope of containing them through aerial spraying is moving slowly amid claims that the pesticides are ineffective, claims that the government has denied.
I've already gotten some reports that the spraying that has been going on has been effective. There was a report that it was not effective, but the information we are getting is that it takes time to act. They don't die immediately you spray them, but you know the spray is effective. So we are continuing with what we were spraying, even as we get those additional chemicals that are being brought.
The containment process has been slowed down by the conflict in Somalia and Yemen, two countries where the locusts originated from. As a result of the conflict, the two countries have done nothing to contain the pests.
The strategy is to actually contain them and deal with them wherever they are before they spread to those other places.
By the end of the week, the government says it will have deployed 6 aerial spraying aircrafts, 4 surveillance aircrafts, and increased the number of sprays to be used both by the planes and the human resource, spraying the insects from the ground. Environmental analysts say the government must ensure that its efforts bear fruit, as failure would be disastrous, not just for food security in the country, but for the country's ambitious project of increasing the forest cover to 10%. Brenda Wanga, NTV.
From that seeming plague, we'll take a break. Back shortly.
Did you know that omega-3 and vitamin D have benefits for our bodies? Try 7C's cod liver oil. The liquid-filled capsule contains omega-3 to support heart, brain, and vision, and vitamin A and D to support strong bones, the immune system, and help maintain healthy skin and hair. Try 7C's today. Also available in your nearest pharmacy, 7C's multivitamin syrup.
This festive season, get a decoder with subscription at an unbelievable festive offer of only 1,499 shillings. Children can enjoy amazing cartoons on Nickelodeon, while for women, great soaps and drama on Novella E+ and Rainbow TV. For men, it's Arsenal and Manchester United. You can also pay 1 month and enjoy 2 weeks free on a higher bouquet. For more information, call 0719 077 077.
Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Your multi-bet is on its way to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
If you don't stop, I will record this, and then I'll show your son that embarrassing thing you're doing. I'm sure he won't ever go back to work again. Miss Hillary, I want to join the search for Salvador.
Wait, I'm coming too.
But why?
Carrie, if I were you, I wouldn't make friends with that guy. Because they're a family of criminals.
Well, that serves you right. Don't you ever call me again.
I offered to pay your debt. That is if you will help me.
Embakasi Benedicta Academy Utawala is a center of academic excellence, mixed day and boarding. We offer pre-primary and primary school classes. We have fully implemented the new competency-based curriculum from PP1 to grade 4 and offer French classes for free. Our pupils are equipped to be productive and disciplined. January intake is ongoing. Apply now. For more information, call us on the numbers on your screen. Embakasi Benedicta Academy Utawala. Learn and shine.
Every day, NTV News Team moves you to the center of the action.
The security forces who took part in this operation.
Police are not taking anything to chance it.
moves you to the heart of the story to witness and record history.
Rendering the declared results null and void.
Telling the story of Kenya.
The growing importance of border in Mandera.
Matatus will be on strike.
And beyond.
The politics in the United States capital.
It is the 7th edition of the Global Education taking place in Dubai.
When it comes to business, we crunch the numbers and unpack the detail with the latest information for your investment decision.
It's time to say goodbye to this note and karibu to this note.
In order for the manufacturing sector to be elevated from the ground.
Despite the government's promise to create at least 1.3 million jobs.
Moves you fast past the planes and trucks to bring you the triumphs and joys of our great men and women.
Moving stories that touch our hearts.
I didn't know that I could go back to school.
The Back to School program has brought hope to these young mothers.
NTV News. News that moves you.
Thank you for staying with us. The Law Society of Kenya of today has been cited as a pale image of the LSK of years gone by. It has been used as a political platform for the benefit of some of its leaders and has lost its teeth, leaving it with loud barks but no bites. This is according to various lawyers, including former chairman Gibson Kamau Kuria, with this criticism. Whichever of the 4 LSK presidential candidates wins the February polls, alongside those who will also be voted in, have part of their entree spelled out.
Members of the Law Society of Kenya are to vote in a new leadership in February. However, the society stands accused of losing its mettle, especially when put against the LSK of the 1990s and early 2000s. This was in light of holding the state accountable, promotion and protection of the rule of law and constitutionalism. Gibson Kamau Kuria, who was the LSK chairman between 1999 and 2001, says the society of the old days was the real deal.
Because the constitution had been amended and a one-party system been introduced, the lawyers were instrumental in ensuring that democracy was restored. It is the lawyers who came out open as the spokesperson of the ordinary people in saying that it was wrong in 1988 for the independence of the judiciary to be taken away by Constitutional Amendment.
Kamau says LSK started losing its oomph after some members of its leadership started using their positions to pursue personal interests.
Over the last 10 to 15 years, there has been a very cozy relationship between the members of the Council of the Law Society and the government of the day.
Currently, LSK has cleared 4 candidates to vie for the position of president. The current Vice President Harriet Chigai, Council Member Maria Mbeneka, Nairobi LSK Chair Charles Kanjama, and lawyer Nelson Harvey. Some of these candidates support the view that the society is not where it was or should be.
In the late 1980s, early 90s, during the struggle for multi-party democracy, when LSK became very vocal in support of the rule of law, in fighting dictatorship.
Court orders are being disobeyed every day. What do the leaders of the society say? A council member and the vice president of the Law Society said, we need to engage the executive in negotiations. Now, therein lies the mischief. Did Paul Mwite, did Gibson Kamau Kuria negotiate with the regime of President Daniel Arap Moi when it was violating fundamental human rights?
LSK must stop focusing purely on issuing public statements in matters to do with the rule of law, but must have a strategy where they can see clearly what are our deliverables.
With the times changing, so have the demands for the position of the LSK president, as it increasingly appears to favor the elite and rich lawyers, with millions of shillings being spent on campaigns.
Yesterday, an invitation was made to the Malindi advocates to attend a function where a presidential candidate is going to speak. And they were told there'll be plenty of nyamachoma and pombe. So advocates will go and drink the pombe. They will be drunk for 12 hours. They will sober out immediately thereafter. Yet the leaders who have brought them those material benefits will be drunk with power for how many years? 2 years.
With the polls coming up, the incoming leadership already has its work cut out, with expectations riding high. Members are now set to vote for change on 27th February. Vincent Odur, NTV.
As a country marked 1 year after the Riverside terror attack yesterday, Roslyn Chilande is still wounded not only by the episode, but also the journey after that. The 34-year-old woman who was working as a parking attendant during the attack sustained gunshot wounds which have kept her away from work for the better part of the year. What she says is worse, however, is that she not only lost her job, but has also not received her compensation.
We meet Roslyn Chilande 1 year after a horrific experience that changed the course of her life. Chilande worked as a parking attendant at Dusit D2 complex along Riverside Drive. She was manning the entry when the mid-morning incident happened. She caught a bullet on the leg.
Sikia mlipuko ukalipuka kwa ndani, na nikiwa naulizana na mwenzangu huo mlipuko umetoka wapi, nikaona maaskari wanaingia mbio, masoja wanaingia mbio kutoka na nje wanakimbia. Kabla niwaulize mnakimbia nini, nikaona wanaume wanaingia wamevalia black na wamebeba mabunduki and they were shooting anyhowly.
1 year down the line and life has not been the same again for Chilande.
Hiyo hali imebadilisha maisha yangu kabisa, kwa sababu sasa siwezi tembea venye nilikuwa natembea. Mtoto kubeba itakuwa ni shida.
Her employer Caps Limited pledged to compensate her for the damages, but the company has yet to fulfill the promise. She is now asking for justice.
Caps wanisaidie wafanye haki. Kwa sababu kile najua haki ni kwamba I was to be paid compensation ya work injury of which hawakufanya, na watu wa labor pia wanisaidie pia kupush Caps angalau haki itendeke.
The single mother of two has been living in her single room rental house in Kawangware with assistance from well-wishers and her church members as she ponders her fate. Kaltun Jama, NTV.
We certainly hope Kaltun's story will lead or push the company to give her compensation. Speaking of compensation, some musicians have welcomed President Uhuru Kenyatta's move to kick middlemen out of their income trail. However, others say that more needs to be done and not just issuing of directives. The Kenya Copyright Board says the money will be distributed through a credible system. Margaret Wanjiru on that musical beat.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
For years on end, musicians have been entertaining the masses. And while Kenyans and the world have been enjoying the tunes and rhythm of local industry have hit artists hard.
So many cartels, because you'll find that as an artist you're being paid percentage of it. Now you'll find most of the companies, they don't help you in marketing for the Skiza tune. They're just there to give you that platform and they're there to get that cut out of you.
They continue to make music, soldiering on, but also going by the saying, whatever comes, comes. But the cry of the musicians has reached the highest office. As he directed that all rights holders register on the National Rights Registry for accountability.
To receive royalties, content service providers will be required to channel all payments of royalties through a single, centrally managed account at the Kenya Copyright Board.
Artists have been expressing keenness on ensuring there is a holistic review of the system to ensure they get what is due to them.
If we've not been able to deal with people like MCSK and deal with, royalty issues, how sure are we that Kekobo is going to be able to fulfill its mandate in making sure the artists get that money?
The role of the CSPs is to collect this content and package the content and place the content on the platform. Now the new national repository will gradually take the role of the CSPs in providing content to the platforms.
However, some artists would have wished some of the directives followed a different direction.
The conversation should be centered around a higher percentage for the artists to be able to earn more money from the big telecommunications company who provide the platform for our music to be able to be downloaded.
A memorandum of understanding signed between the Kenya Copyrights Board and various key stakeholders such as the Music Copyright Society of Kenya, the Performers' Rights Society of Kenya, and the Kenya Association of Producers in December 2019 will also see the collection of monies on behalf of musicians go digital.
The collections will now be undertaken through an ICT system that takes into account the collection. It has invoicing, it has database, it has a monitoring system, and money will be distributed based on an objective criteria.
This means that artists will get royalties based on how many times the songs have been downloaded or played. Even with the current concerns, the initiatives mentioned by the president are likely to be executed by the end of January. Kekobo projects that artists will go from receiving their royalties from a quarterly basis to a monthly basis. Margaret Wanjiru, NTV.
We're just about to take a break, but before that, this is what you can expect in your favorite daily tomorrow. Hundreds of young women, even some as young as 18 years old, are selling their eggs, if you may, ovaries, in what has become a lucrative business. Regardless the moral or ethical question and the health risks posed by the harvesting procedure, clinics and donors alike have turned what was once a noble, selfless action into a cash-generating endeavor. You'll find the details in tomorrow's Daily Nation. As we take a break, this is what you can expect. In the business, we tell you what the Coffee Revolving Fund serves farmers of the bitter brew. Dan Mwangi standing by.
Kwa majina ni Shida Gesanda. Mimi ni mchezaji tu. Ndoto yangu mimi iko nitachezea Harambee Starlets niende ngambo. Nikirudi tasaidia mamangu kwa shida. Na ninaona hii ndoto itaanza na betika na community.
Hii timu yenye hii msichana yangu anachezea, tulianza tukiwa na maono, tunataka tukuze talents ya wasichana sababu wasichana huwa wanabaki nyuma na wanaenda ma street.
We are very excited because every time we see the excited faces of the young players when they get their kids and their new balls, it gives us a urge to continue investing in the communities.
Betika na community iliongeza morali kwa timu ya Gusii Starlets mpaka wakapiwa mtu mabao 23. Tukiwa na Betika na community, hii timu itaenda mbali, itacheza premier na watoto watajisaidia.
Je, maumivu ya kichwa na kukosesha amani? Kaluma Strong hutuliza maumivu ya kichwa, maumivu ya mwili na hata huondoa joto jingi mwilini. Kaluma Strong ina aspirin kama kiungo. Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because the tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity.
That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate.
Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities for maximum cavity protection. And now available in a 12-gram sachet for fresh breath. Only 15 shillings.
the simple little things of life. And I promise if you take the time, you won't be looking for too long before you find this little secret of mine. Sunday, we are chasing taste. Let's just grab a bite, the excuse to drink Coca-Cola every single day. So we feel forever be real, together stay free whatever ends. No, we can't stop, we wanna taste the feeling. Nothing can ever bring us down. Taste the feeling.
Do you have what it takes to become the next generation of great innovators, business magnates, corporate icons, engineers, and renowned researchers? Be part of over 40,000 students pursuing and nurturing their career at Moi University. Enroll now for January, May, and September 2020 intakes for postgraduate, degree, and diploma programs in the following schools: School of Business and Economics, School of Arts and Social Sciences, School of Information Sciences, School of Education, School of Agriculture and Natural Resources, School of Biological and Physical Sciences, School of Tourism, Hospitality and Events Management, School of Aerospace Science, School of Public Health, School of Medicine, School of Engineering, School of Law, School of Nursing, School of Dentistry. Enroll now. Moi University, the foundation of knowledge.
Prepare yourself for a new live bet experience. Top minute, boosted live bet odds. Mozart, make a decision.
Good evening and welcome to NTV Business. My name is Dan Mwangi. Now, to woo more investors into the construction of affordable housing units, the government will waive value-added tax on all input of materials used in the program effective February. Alex Mwangi attended the handover of 228 complete houses to the government in Nairobi and gives us the details. In his address to the nation on Tuesday, President Uhuru Kenyatta directed the Treasury to take 30 days within which to operationalize the Coffee Cherry Advance Fund. It is a kitty designed to cushion coffee farmers from the adverse effects of subdued earnings through extension of advance payments. It comes against the backdrop of dwindling fortunes for coffee farmers. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that in 2018, farmers fetched 40,286 shillings for a 100-kilogram bag of coffee, a 15% decline compared to the price registered in 2017. In this period, farmers saw the value of their marketed produce fall from 16 billion shillings in 2017 to 14.83 billion shillings in 2018. It is this trend of a decline in earnings that has seen the clamour rise for intervention by the government to reverse the state of affairs in the coffee sector. According to the regulations published by the National Treasury, small-scale coffee farmers will be eligible for advance payments from the 3 billion shillings kitty. The amount advanced will be pegged on 40% of the prevailing average sales price at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange, 20 shillings per kilogram of cherry delivered by the farmer, and 40% of the payment rate to members by a cooperative society for the immediate past crop year. The regulations define a smallholder coffee grower as one whose farming land does not exceed 20 acres. Farmers who benefit from the advance payment from the fund will also bear an administration cost of 3% of the advanced amount, which will be deducted from the amount before being advanced. Julians Amboko, NTV. We apologize for that mix-up in regards to the introduction of that story by Julian Samboka and by Alex Mwangi. That is about
the coffee revolving fund, which the president spoke about in his address to the nation a few days ago, as he moves to ensure that he can bring back some sweetness into the bitter brew and its trade. Now we move on to other stories, and we spoke about Alex Mwangi's story. We shall bring to you that story in a bit. But first, let's cross borders. And seizure of milk products from Uganda is the latest development, threatening to strain relations between Kenya and one of its main trading partners. Uganda's Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Wednesday sent a protest note accusing the government of Kenya of contravening the East African Community Treaty. This happens even as a section of farmers in Kenya welcome efforts to streamline the dairy sector.
On the 2nd, 7th and 11th of January 2020, a multi-agency team impounded Lato ultra-heat treated and powdered milk in a cleanup exercise targeting infiltration of counterfeit goods. This has placed the Ugandan milk brand at the center of controversy as one of the cheaper products seeping through the porous border.
Lato milk and another one called Fresh Dairy. Unfortunately, they do appear to be untouchable. We do have data and customs entries showing that that milk is coming into Kenya duty-free.
The government of Uganda has rubbished claims that the products are counterfeit, saying that at least 54,310 kilograms of Lato powder milk, which is valued at about 20 million shillings, and 263,632 liters of UHT milk, which is valued at 16 million shillings, have been wrongly confiscated. Uganda's Ministry of Foreign Affairs says the seizure was executed despite clearance of the consignments by KRA and the National Bureau of Standards. The Ugandan government is now calling for, and I quote, the immediate release of the seized batches of Lato brand milk, that the Kenyan government refrains from any action against exports from Uganda to Kenya, that the government assumes responsibility for any deterioration of seized products and losses suffered, and for the government to respond to any trade problems within the East African Community and bilateral frameworks, instead of resorting to arbitrary means which could jeopardize trade relations between the two countries. Even as this happens, dairy farmers have lauded the government for issuing a directive to new KCC to increase the farm gate prices from the average of 25 shillings to 33 shillings.
Si tulitoroka, tukaanza kuuzia watu wa manyumba, tukatafuta hata watu wa mikawa, lakini sababu ametuambia tutanunuliwa hivyo. Sasa
mtu itakuwa ni kama mtu ameajiriwa. Sasa watakuwa wanajua kila mwezi wanapata 33.
Lilian Kiarie, NTV.
Let's go back to the story spoken about earlier on, and to woo more investors into the construction of affordable housing units, the government will waive value-added tax on all input of materials used in the program effective February. Alex Mwangi attended the handover of 228 complete houses to the government in Nairobi and gives us the details.
These 228 houses which are complete are
Once again, we apologize for that loss of sound. However, the government is stepping up its slum upgrading efforts, this time looking to have the constructed houses taken up by the targeted beneficiaries. The goal in the new project is construction of over 4,000 units in what is being dubbed as the Soweto Zone B social housing project in Kibera, and previously the state set up 822 units in Soweto Kibera, which ended up being occupied by unintended households.
We'll also be breaking ground in Q1 of 2020. This will cater for 4,400 households that have been enumerated. The residents of Kibera, Soweto B, have left site, and that the evaluation, that the RFP process is going to be completed this month, and we're going to start the evaluation process. You have not heard any noise. We have worked with the communities to ensure that those that rightfully belong to Kibera Soweto Zone B are facilitated. They left at their own evolution.
Let's take a look at the financials today. That's it for business. Have yourself a good night. But coming up, strategic meetings at the coast and the dividing politics of the Building Bridges initiative still at play.
Molfix breathable surface developed with airsoft technology is very soft and provides the best Molfix skincare.
I've found the best diaper for my baby's sensitive skin.
All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
Look at this. And this. So this? Why is this so? The culture of good driving and road safety starts with attending the right driving school and receiving the right driving instructions. Now you know. AA Kenya.
Register today for your driving classes. Dial *650#.
For 100 years now, AA has walked with you throughout the journey. Automobile Association of Kenya. You never drive alone.
Eldoret Technical Training Institute, ETTI, is a student-centered institution offering competency-based training and market-driven courses at higher diploma, and certificate level. Registration for January, May, and September 2020 intakes is ongoing in the following programs: Building and Civil Engineering, Business Administration and Commerce, Agriculture and Animal Health, Travel, Tourism and Hospitality Management, Education, Social Studies, Information Communication Technology, Accounting, Banking and Finance, Medical and Health Sciences, Journalism and Mass Communication. Apply now. SMS your details to the numbers on your screen. Eldoret Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Molfix breathable surface developed with airsoft technology is very soft and provides the best Molfix skincare.
I've found the best diaper for my baby's sensitive skin.
All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
Welcome back, and on to some siasa. Former Kakamega Senator Boni Khalwale maintains that the parallel meeting organized by Luhya leaders allied to Deputy President William Ruto will go on as planned on Saturday. Khalwale, who also dismissed the intended gathering at Mukuru Stadium, says issues touching on Western Kenya should be left to the leadership of the region to discuss. Meanwhile, President Uhuru Kenyatta joined 24 governors in Mombasa for lunch at one of the local restaurants.
In what could perhaps be one of the biggest show of unity as the debate on the BBI rages, 24 county chiefs joined President Kenyatta for lunch in Mombasa after holding more than 3 hours of a closed-door meeting at State House. After their meal, the leaders briefly interacted with curious onlookers who had gathered around the restaurant. Murang'a Governor Mwangi wa Iria told NTV that the meeting at State House was to discuss how the counties will fit into the 6-point agenda set by the president a few days ago for the year 2020.
Ni mambo ya kushauriana tu, na ndio sababu nasema ni lunch. Kuguzia mambo kidogo hapa na pale. Sio mkutano wa 10, mkutano ina mambo mingi, ni kujuliania hali tu.
In Kakamega, plans to host several leaders, including ODM leader Raila Odinga, are almost complete. The pro-BBI leaders are also set to convene in Buhungu Stadium in what is said to be a sensitization campaign, but that which a section of leaders from the region allied to the DP Ruto say is intended to mutilate the original document.
To mutate BBI so that it deviates from what it gave in Bomas, to provide for an all-powerful prime minister, and two, to create a third tier of government that will create regional governments to satisfy the appetites of greedy governors who have served for 10 years and they don't want to go home.
Khalwale was speaking while on a tour of different counties in the Western Kenya to rally attendance to the Nabongo Stadium in Mumias. The permit for the meeting has, however, been revoked, citing, among other things, possible clashes.
We do not need any permission from any party leader, from a leader of any other community, for us to talk to ourselves.
In the meantime, leaders and elders from the region now say they are seeking a solution to bridge the divide between the two opposing sides.
We need them to sit together.
Ken Mijungu, NTV.
Nairobi Hospital lost billions of shillings during the tenure of the previous board. This is according to the new chairman, Dr. Wilfred Irungu Ndirango, who says that an ongoing forensic audit has already revealed that funds were lost through conflict of interest. The chairman was responding to questions from members of the Kenya Hospital Association during an open day. Members demanded to know what action will be taken on the members of the previous board who could be found culpable, after a financial audit. A final audit, I should say. A new committee is, of course, in charge and has been unveiled to look into the governance and legal matters of the hospital and will be chaired by Dr. Jane Kabutu.
Hospital Association petitioned the chairman of the board to call for a special general meeting to remove the entire board because the members had lost confidence in their leadership. It was finally allowed by a court of law, and in a special general meeting of 27th of November 2019, a new board was installed. The board had a complement of 8 members, and all of them were men.
Would you look at the time? We've eaten into sports time, but yes, Brian Otwal is still bringing you the full bulletin from the sports desk up next.
Eldoret Technical Training Institute. Registration for January, May and September 2020 intakes is ongoing. Apply now. Eldoret Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Your multi-bet is on its way to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
Kupika kila mtu ajipikie yake. Na vyombo za nani?
Kwa nani?
Am I not getting some?
Ice cream ya wageni. Wewe nitakuletea maji kwa jikoni.
A girl's gotta eat to keep up with you, Mr. Guns.
Well, that's absolutely correct.
This festive season, get a decoder with subscription at an unbelievable festive offer of only 1,499 shillings. You can also pay 1 month and enjoy 2 weeks free on a higher bouquet. For more information, call 0719 077 077.
Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Did you know? We've steered over 500,000 youth across the continent to brighter futures. Absa Group, serving Kenya as Barclays.
If you don't stop, I will record this, and then I'll show your son that embarrassing thing you're doing. I'm sure he won't ever go back to work again. Miss Hillary, I want to join the search for Salvador.
Wait, I'm coming too.
But why?
Carrie, if I were you, I wouldn't make friends with that guy. Because they're a family of criminals.
Well, that serves you right. Don't you ever call me again.
I offered to pay your debt. That is if you will help me.
Every day, NTV News team moves you to the center of the action.
The security forces who took part in this operation.
Police are not taking anything to chance.
Moves you to the heart of the story to witness and record history.
Rendering the declared results null and void.
Telling the story of Kenya.
The growing importance of border in Mandera.
Matatus will be on strike.
And beyond.
The politics in the United States capital.
It is the 7th edition of the Global Education taking place in Dubai.
When it comes to business, we crunch the numbers and unpack the detail with the latest information for your investment decision.
It's time to say goodbye to this note and karibu to this note.
In order for the manufacturing sector to be elevated from the ground.
Despite the government's promise to create at least 1.3 million jobs.
Moves you fast past the planes and trucks to bring you the triumphs and joys of our great men and women.
Moving stories that touch our hearts.
I didn't know that I could go back to school.
The Back to School program has brought hope to these young mothers.
NTV News. News that moves you.
NTV Sport in association with Mozart Bet. SMS NTV to 29990.
Let's have a look at the day's sports news. Welcome, my name is Brian Otwal. The national men's basketball team, the Kenya Morans, thrashed Somalia 102-77 in their third match of the FIBA Afro Basketball pre-qualifiers played at the Nyayo Gymnasium this evening. Eric Mutoro scored a game-high 31 points and 2 assists, with captain Griffin Ligare adding 17 points and 4 assists to help Kenya win their third consecutive game of the campaign. This comes after the Morans outscored Eritrea 112-64 in the first game and overpowered Tanzania 95-59 in the second. In the earlier kickoff today, South Sudan beat Burundi 100-59 and Tanzania saw off Eritrea 69-101. Friday we'll see Kenya battle Burundi at 6:30 p.m, Somalia take on Eritrea at 4:15 p.m, and Tanzania will face South Sudan at 2 p.m. in Day 4 action. To another team, the national women's beach volleyball team is optimistic of making it to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics for the first time in the country's history after qualifying for the second round of the zonal qualifiers. Kenya finished second behind winners Rwanda, while Uganda and Tanzania finished in third and fourth places respectively. Kenya was represented by two teams, with experienced Gaudensia Makoha being paired with Braxidi Zagala, who was making her debut in beach volleyball. The other pair had Captain Fosca Kasisi and Yvonne Wavinya under the stewardship of coach Sami Mulinge. They joined their male counterparts who also qualified for the second round. Kenya is likely to meet heavyweights Egypt in the next round of qualifiers.
And fans can now vote for their favorite sportsmen, sportswomen, teams and federations ahead of the 2019 Safaricom Sports Personality of the Year Soya Awards that is scheduled for next Friday in Mombasa County. Fans can vote from their Safaricom lines by dialing *279#, that is *279#, and following the instructions. Voting ends on January 22nd and at midnight. The fans' vote accounts for 30% of the result in each category, with votes by a panel of sports journalists counting for 70%. Marathon record holder Eliud Kipchoge, World 3,000 meters steeplechase champion Beatrice Chepkoech, World 5,000 meters champion Helen Obiri, footballer Michael Olunga, volleyball coach Paul Bitok, and rugby coach Curtis Olago, and 2018 Sports Personality of the Year Samuel Mushai are among the nominees for different awards. Kipchoge won the overall title in 2018. And it is the January football transfer window, and many footballers across the world are seeking to bag better contracts in better leagues. The transfer market is the playground for football agents, and Kenyan Jamal Ibrahim is making waves as the man behind the big money moves abroad of numerous Kenyan footballers, among them Eric Marcelo Ouma, Eric Yohana, and most recently Sydney Lokale.
It is the dream of every Kenyan footballer to ply his trade abroad. To do that, one needs an astute agent. In football, an agent is a representative and intermediary who handles the interest of a player. Jamal Ato Ibrahim, who hails from Isli, is slowly becoming the Jorge Mendes of Kenyan football transfers. Kariobangi Sharks forward Sydney Lokale is his latest catch. Through Jamal, 19-year-old Lokale has bagged a 6-month loan move to Finnish top league side HIFK Football. As a teenager, Jamal represented Masai in the annual Norway Cup in 2006 before turning pro as a 22-year-old and featuring in the Swedish 3rd division. He then quit football to concentrate on being a football agent with a total sports management agency.
First thing nimeanza kufanya when I start about football agency, kurudi nyumbani, because I believe in Kenya football. And for me, it's simple to take players to Sweden because I have a good connection.
So exactly what makes a good football agent?
First thing first, you have to have that eye as a scout or as an agent that you can take a player. Then you have a player, what will happen next? Because that's happening in Kenya. Unaona mtu anasema mimi ni agent, he has like 20 players. Utapeleka wapi wachezaji?
Jamal certainly has the contacts in Scandinavian countries, as in his books are some of the top Kenyan players abroad. These include Harambee Stars ace Eric Marcelo Ouma, who has made a big move to Swedish top side AIK on a 5-year deal from 3rd division side IF Vasalund, as well as Eric Yohana, who is in his 4th season in Sweden. Also in his stable are Anthony Wambani and Ovela Ochieng.
Kenyan League ni ligi moja iko juu sana, side ya competition. Swedish League naweza sema ni good platform ya wachezaji kama Kenyan players. Definitely tukiongea mambo ya biashara, Swedish League is easy kuonekana kutoka Sweden kwenda big clubs.
In the local league, he manages several players, among them David Majak of Tusker FC.
Mostly tunaangalia wachezaji wadogo, talented, hardworking, disciplined, humble, because football is not only talent. So tunaangalia vitu mingi before we take a player to the next level and we sign him. Ningewish Kenya Premier League tuchezeshe more youngsters, young players.
Aside from scouting for players, his agency also seeks to upgrade the skills of Kenyan football coaches to meet the changing trends. Former Harambee Stars captain Musa Otieno is among the coaches schooled.
Na hiyo ndio itasaidia our academies vile coaches atatrainisha watu. So I think hizo ndio vitu tumelack, na by time I think tuta catch up Kenya football.
Legendary Michael Rigi showed the potential of Kenyan footballers abroad. Dennis the Menace Oliech and McDonald Mariga then took over the baton. Currently, Victor Wanyama is plying his trade in the highly popular English Premier League.
I mean, ninge advise wachezaji wote, just be careful of what you're doing. Don't be desperate to go to, I don't know which league, just because you want to go. If you talk about Europe, kuna ligi zingine ziko chini kuliko hata Kenya Premier League.
Globally, Jorge Mendes is a titan of agents who has the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo in his stable. According to a 2019 Forbes list, Mendes has negotiated more than $1 billion in active contracts.
Kudos to Jamal there. Moving on, the Africa Cup of Nations reverts to its former time slot of January and February for the next edition in 2021 that will be held in Cameroon. The tournament's organizing committee revealed that the tournament will be played from January 9th to February 6th, 2021 after a meeting with CAF boss Ahmed.
The property they've gotten with our looted money, and they saved this country for my child and daughter Teko and the many children.
From our studios to the ground where the action is live.
Misuse of funds here in the country.
Someone donating their hat to Bernard Ojwang there.
Welcome to NTV Today.
You are just in time.
The live link will be done by Muledan, and sports has a lot to be shown. And Sean Cardovillis
keeping you up to date with all you need to know as and when it happens.
It's not been a very good morning in the country. We've had a very grisly accident.
In clear context to all the relevant issues.
Reacquire the property they've gotten with our looted money, and they saved this country for my child and daughter Teko and the many children.
From our studios to the ground where the action is live.
Misuse of funds here in the country.
Someone donating their hat to Bernard Ojwang there.
Welcome to NTV Today.
You are just in time.
The live link will be done by Muledan, and sports has a lot to be shown. And Sean Cardovillis
keeping you up to date with all you need to know as and when it happens.
It's not been a very good morning in the country. We've had a very grisly accident.
In clear context to all the relevant issues.
Reacquire the property they've gotten with our looted money, and they saved this country for my child and daughter Teko and the many children.
From our studios to the ground where the action is live.
Misuse of funds here in the country.
Someone donating their hat to Bernard Ojwang there.
Welcome to NTV Today.
You are just in time.
The live link will be done by Muledan, and sports has a lot to be shown. And Sean Cardovillis
keeping you up to date with all you need to know as.
Correct. This festive season, get a decoder with subscription at an unbelievable festive offer of only 1,499 shillings. You can also pay 1 month and enjoy 2 weeks free on a higher bouquet. For more information, call 0719 077 077.
Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Look at this. And this.
So this? Why is this so? The culture of good driving and road safety starts with attending the right driving school and receiving the right driving instructions. Now you know. AA Kenya.
Register today for your driving classes. Dial *650#.
For 100 years now, AA has walked with you throughout the journey. Automobile Association of Kenya. You never drive alone.
If you don't stop, I will record this, and then I'll show your son that embarrassing thing you're doing. I'm sure he won't ever go back to work again. Miss Hillary, I want to join the search for Salvador.
Wait, I'm coming too. But why?
Carrie, if I were you, I wouldn't make friends with that guy. Because they're a family of criminals.
Well, that serves you right. Don't you ever call me again.
I offered to pay your debt. That is if you will help me.
And them say, here comes trouble, here comes the danger, sent by the Savior. Well,
more spice.
Welcome to another episode of Jump Down. This is the first show of the year. Happy 2020.